We're gonna watch Blue 4 in this 10v10 today. And we already got what I was looking for. I think you're gonna get an idea what this is gonna be about. I only know of things happening, but I haven't seen it myself yet. So I only have a rough idea. We have two boat, Jork in it, let's go, and very big block. There to catch up with two Tomcats. Alright. What do we have? Jasgrippen, there are the Tomcats on Hardened. Hardened should mean this is an airborne or marine deck. Both specs gain free veterancy on the air tab. In the air tab, for the air tab, whichever it is. What do we have here? A ton of Hueys. You know this is not gonna do well. Jeez, that's so many Hueys, dude. Is this all one player? This is all just one player. Are those just basic riflemen? Jesus Christ. Israel, Tigers, Escort, Sippos, and some landing units. You have the problem is that I have no idea what is in there, right? If I was the player, I could check what transport is in there, but nobody knows. Those are the North Korean mix. We have Kampfschwimmer in a hind, alright. Tomcat gets killed. I think both died. One of the other planes, I think, also died. I wasn't paying fully attention, but it looks like both Tomcats are dead. More Zippos. What do they even have other than the Zippo? What are all these things? Jesus Christ, just full on landing here. They have a Bofors with 1 HE and 2100 meters range, and the AoE tag. AoE tag is very important, of course. Allows you to shoot at targets no matter what armor they have. If you don't have an AoE tag, like for example these miniguns, you cannot shoot at anything with more than 1 armor. And against 1 armor, you just do pitiful damage. Just like normal MGs, right? This is why the AoE tag on the Hind, or the fact that the Hind's minigun, the Yak-B, does have the AoE tag, is so crucial. Also, it usually indicates that it has much higher AoE on the actual shot. So, missing doesn't always mean that it's not gonna deal any damage. We have a ton of Fallschirmjäger, about 90s and base against 4 stack of LSTR. LSTR are not gonna really have a chance here. They're coming out panicked, they don't have an MG, and the primary weapon, by the way, in case you don't know, is not quite what it used to be. They actually also had 533 RP, if I remember correctly, 533 RPM on their primary, I think, with lower accuracy though. But it was a good chunk stronger than it is now. Also, I think most MGs were a bit weaker just across the board. But, you know, we're talking about like 2016, 2015 rather. No, 2014 even. I think the big MG rebalance came still in 2014, no? Either way, back to the replay. This is... Oh, wow, okay. Hold on. Just Rifleman 90. Okay, those are just Rifleman 90, so they're just not gonna do too much. Except the IFVs. We have a BU and an M2 Wilk here. Good chunk of infantry. It's gonna take a while until they can get through, but... Maybe I'm gonna eat my words, but it's not looking great for Blue 4 here. Turns out, yes, 4 LSTR are not gonna win, but... all this fire support and all these Molschützen in here and all the KPVTs from all the BTRs, everything took their toll, right? Suppose gonna take a tiny bit of damage, and ooh, we got ourselves a Lafayette. LCM carried an... Okay, they carried M113's CR, so just basic bitch ass rigging vehicles. Lima isn't captured. Juliet isn't counter-capped. This probably was captured, but you know, we saw how everything broke through here. We have 2 Tors here as well. Spetsnaz and VDV-90, unkillable combo, you know it. This is all gonna be slowed down, but again, this is not gonna hold for too long. Rifleman 90 are fine. They're not bad, but if that's all you bring, you're not gonna be able to do anything. Yeah, there we have it. 2 CVs here. 4 CVs in a base, 2 CVs here, and nobody thought about bringing anything there. Now granted, of course, this is not gonna hold long, but for a while at least we're gonna give your team 45 extra points per minute. Not per player, of course. We also have a bake which has basically, what's the closest equivalent to those? Something like Tor missiles? Tor missiles have a bit less range versus planes and helicopters. Oh, it's like the Roycat HVM, basically. Except this is Fire and Forget and has less accuracy, but still actually like really good missiles. Fire and Forget though, the issue is that sometimes you just tend to overkill targets a lot and almost waste missiles. But at the end of the day, I think you'd rather waste a few missiles here and there than not confirming a kill, right? If you had the choice. One of those things where you definitely want to overuse ammo rather than underuse it. Well, potentially that is. Alright, well, Red 4 completely wrecked Blue 4 completely across the board, I should say. Well, almost. One small village in... No, this is not Asterix and Obelix. Ooh, both of them missed. It only has 40% base accuracy, but it was upgraded to Elite. That said, I don't think it would have been a side shot, and those are only 26 AP. Basically your poor man's Peace Ryan, really, that plane. So yeah. LTM does have 40 HP, so those Monarichka, they're gonna take a bit until they kill it. I guess like 4 shots. You know, not that long, really, all things considered. Monarichka, horrible infantry squad. Horrible might be an exaggeration, but how are you actually spotted? Okay, you're not spotted anymore, but how were you spotted? Because that's the thing, right? You don't... no idea how good the ground optics of this thing actually are. We can check in the online armory tool in a second, if I remember. But just like with planes or anti-air units, you only see one optics label. On planes, it's one thing because they have like no ground optics whatsoever, we know that. But on anti-air units, it's actually not completely useless, as the anti-ground optics actually determine how well you spot helicopters with stealth. So the ADATS, for example, actually has medium ground optics, which is really useful. Also because of the fact that it can shoot its ground targets. Alright. Now that out of the way, that being the ground combat, what is gonna happen down here? Siphon Pico got spotted and is moving. 27k. See, I was gonna say the problem with the 27k is it only has 1 missile. It's very easy to, you know, shoot that missile down. Well, evidently not. Looks like the C-Wiz on this thing was not good enough. Well, that on the Beiku. I think the Beiku also had a little bit of C-Wiz, no? Problem with Lafayette is this one's only based on missiles. It doesn't have C-Wiz like miniguns, which are, I think, a lot more effective on average. This isn't kept... I don't know why this guy's running away. That is actually... Yeah, Palantir is right. That was a dumb decision. You're not under any threat at all, yet. You just gave them like 2 or 3... Yeah, two free spawns here. And now the landing begins. Now this is the interesting part. So just a quick recap up here. Blue is trying to counter push, but the T-90 is going to make short work. And all the infantry got pushed back, but are still holding the ground for now. Lima still uncaptured. Okay, back to action. This CV, okay, I completely missed this CV dying. Was it actually the monitor supported kill with the flames here? I'm so sorry for missing that, and that would explain why this guy tried to move. That's actually kind of crazy. Okay, what is in there? LVTB-7, so it's gonna carry US Marines. You probably too, right? I'm gonna lie, this is actually one of the rare cases where Naval is really fucking sick. CGS, boat tank. They have also no air spawn right now. Only Delta gives them an air spawn, Bravo doesn't. Sometimes the naval sectors, this one surely doesn't know. Sometimes the naval sectors actually also give you air spawns. You have to not right click. Do not right click, just press stop. Here's the thing, by the way, if you're a CV and you right click on something, even if it's in range and you don't move, it uncaps the zone, right? So maybe right click and then press stop, and then it should still continue firing at its last target without, you know, specific attack command. Because if you right-click on a target, it also means that the unit will start following if it's out of range, but still in line of sight. Or still spotted, rather. Yeah, do not right-click. Oh, he doesn't have auto shoot on. There you go. Oh, the main gun is also a defensive gun. Well, if that is engaged in anti-ground duties, it's not gonna shoot at the missiles, but in this case, there you go. Wait, what? It actually... Huh. That is interesting. And I guess you can literally see it on the model? Okay, hold on. The main thing is gonna be the Zippo, surely. Because we know that both for L60 was empty and this thing was still firing, right? Hold on, now I'm curious. Online Armory, where is it? Where do I... There it is. Or Dragon Toolbox. I'm gonna put this up on screen as well. We might as well, right? But loop. Okay. So, Armory. Zippo. There it is. Oh, it's got the autocannon, the Aegis 8 to 20. That's the one that is also on the... Yeah, you can pin this, right? There you go, pin. You can also find this on the, I think on the Quartz. That thing has it. Yep. Does it have the same stats? Okay, we don't care about veterancy. Yeah, whatever, right? Veterancy. It actually has a better stabilizer. I wouldn't be surprised if these are like older stats, whereas these stats eventually got updated with like the IFV rebalance or something. Rate of fire is the same. It's also... It's 75 RPM, so it's not the one on the Kyler now, is it? No, it is. It is. Does it have a rate of fire than the RH202? Wait, is there something wrong with this rate of fire? I thought this was 100 RPM. Whatever. Back to the game. That is funny though. That is really funny. And in this case, I don't know why that was made. Why that is even the case. It's not like you have the 3/3 slot on this thing. You know, you learn something new every day. That is really, really odd. US Marines not upvetted. I don't even know. Can you even upvet them in a naval tab? Hold on, the veterancy is separate from the LCM transport, huh? Because both of these are trained. Oh no, this one is hardened, this one is hardened. Those are the two, probably. Syria kills, or try to kill, a ship. And the Syria dies. However, oh no, it still has 3 Crotals left. Sipho firing. Merida's coming in. MiG-29s. Okay, finally a supply truck. Sorry, ship. MiG-29s die. 27 dies. Gripen dies. And got intercepted. Got a CV coming. Ooh, it's gonna live? Well, they don't really have anything against ground units, like ground infantry. They have some ATGMs. The Meridas are down here and dying to the Sanhanim. Spicy, but possible to hold, especially if like more... Oh, there we have 2 Sippos still. 2100 meters range. Longbow. Nice. Noob. What is it even? What is he even trying to say with this? Like, make it free for tanks? I mean, sure, but it's not... Whatever. I don't think Red 4 is gonna be able to deal with this. I mean, Gamma, I guess, can deal with the longbow. Ooh, longbow is gonna find the CV. Okay, line of sight here is really fucky. There it is. Use Marine Suit with the so-called. What are we gonna spawn? What are we gonna spawn? Ground landing squads, of course. Elites. Could be anything. Fob stolen. I don't know where the Lafayette is moving. I guess yeah, to protect the CV. That makes a lot of sense. Because it currently is. Ooh, nice snipe. Sorry, Rifleman 90. I wasn't familiar with the game. Also, let's do a brief. Another Lafayette. I'm sorry that whoever brought this in. I'm sorry that I wasn't paying attention to you. Yeah, that's actually very sick. It's not often actually that zones are so close to the coastline that you can properly support with like coastal ships or deep sea ships rather. This finally got captured. They're still holding on to here, and I actually managed to push them out. Again, I completely missed that, but oh no, the T90 is still here. Okay, I didn't miss the T90 kill. Guess the T90 didn't have enough support units. A Tor, and you have the plane. Svi is still alive. Honestly, I was gonna say these can push, but I think as soon as they're like trying to fight the CV here, they're just gonna die to the ship. And as long as you don't have an air spawn, there's nothing really that they can do about the ship. Oh, never mind. Of course, they can spawn anti-ship units from the ground, and they don't even require line of sight, as we've recently learned. And they should definitely recap this. Because I don't know why this guy's here. You can probably land somewhere on Alpha. Why is this uncapped? What the fuck? This is 4 points. It's like the most valuable zone on the field together with Juliet. Well, and I guess the spawn points, fair enough. But like, huh? Cap this, you idiots? If you now make your way towards Alpha, I think the closest landing point will be like somewhere there. So even when you're out of fuel, you're actually gonna land there. Because if you're out of fuel in the open sea, it's just gonna automatically fly to the closest landing spot. Which is, by the way, why even like that one naval map where there's seemingly no land, there's actually a tiny spot of land just for helicopters to land for when they're out of fuel. You know, because you can still buy anti-ship helicopters. Which is really funny. And these guys just keep missing. That is hilarious. Also takes forever to resupply ships. I don't know what, but there's probably something they could have done to make them repair a bit faster. Because that's another thing that I think hurts ship battles, is how long they take to repair. Although I guess you can always argue that maybe that's part of what makes it fun. I don't know. That is one sick angle, I have to say, though. Lafayette could probably just drive up there and fire position him, though. It does have the range. One or two Sippos might just be outrange, which might be like why this one Sippo was so close, because it was trying to fire position. But you could also just fire position like down there and block line of sight with the flames. I mean, those US Marines, though, just going to their death. Push back in the middle. Ooh, and the Eagle Eye kills the longbow, yep. What are those? Scumshimmer, LCR? Not much being spawned. Ah, there we go. Can Blackhawks spawn here as well? No, right? Helicopters can't spawn here. They can? Oh, okay. It says C, but I didn't realize it would also allow helicopter spawnings. Unless you can buy these in the naval tab, but I'd be surprised if you could. I don't know where you're gonna cluster this. There's no way in hell that there's gonna be a vehicle in here that you haven't spotted yet. Like a vehicle CV. Ton of stuff being moved back. Keel just now completely empty. Everyone's just going back trying to get to the main spawn. Which is probably really good for blue. Because that's just easy pickings for them. This might have been spawned a bit too... No, it wasn't spawned too late. Lafayette, where's the other Lafayette? It's still chilling there. I think it's a mistake. You should drive around. That said, though, I guess maybe a single Lafayette is just good enough. Like, what are they gonna do? Man, these BJs just still dealing with this is so crazy. Like, it's just sitting here and shooting the entire time. That's a ton of Spetsnaz and shit. Rangers are not gonna cut it. Oh, that's the artillery monitor. This one has the HS-8 280s shown, both of them. And it does have 10% accuracy. There's a cluster. I guess that can also kind of deal with the ships if you hit enough shots. But actually, like, bringing this mortar, howitzer, whatever you want to call it, is hilarious. But I mean, yeah. This push here did so much for the rest of the map as well. Forced so many of them to invest here. Cut off their air spawn. Forced many of them to just drive back with stuff. That's actually insane. And except for the ships, I don't think they actually invested that much. Yes, they lost a bunch of infantry here as well, but if you compare them to what they killed and just based on planes alone. Okay, finally that thing is here. Enough I can actually move around now. Ooh, they were not close enough to the road for some reason. That is a mistake. If you're sitting here, you might as well sit there so you can shoot at reinforcements. HQ section. Took a bit of damage. Okay, they're not gonna do much. They have no armor. So they're gonna actually die to the HE runs. Something like Wilk or T90 can actually tank this for quite a bit. Although this is on 0 people with 1 HP. Oh, why was this moving? What a misplay. They were just waiting for this opportunity. The M2 Wilk died, the T90 died. I completely missed it. What happened there? I'm sorry. I'm sorry for being such a bad observer. The only one getting side shot. Mr. Anderson. I mean, yeah. Honestly, this is like one of those games where you're like, hold on, maybe Naval is actually really sick, right? This is one of those games when you're playing, at least as Blue 4, you're like, that shit is actually amazing. But in practice, I don't think you get these games that often. Let alone pure Naval, which is just ass, of course. And now look at what Red 4 is left. Pretty much nothing. Some commandos here, some other stuff there. Very big block. That was actually that was a sick naval. Well, landing. Yeah, naval landing. Yeah, not really naval battle. It was mainly one side that was naval. But damn, Red 4 needed those whatever the anti-ship trucks are called again, man. They would have made easy pickings of the Lafayette. The CV not never dying is also kind of crazy. And yeah, damn. The rare actual naval diff. Oh my god, they just took so much damage from the random Malyutka crit. Did you see that? Actually insane. Look at that, man. 2, 3. 3 people went positive on the Red 4 team, and this guy just barely. Damn, Daniel. Yeah, that was a very good replay, man. What can I say? No, it's time for Wargame, though. Alrighty, we got ourselves not infantry. We have medium stealth. It's a Recon Jeep? Probably like a Recon Jeep. Not in mech or armored. Oh, that is interesting. I think Recon Jeeps tend to be in both, the like basic ones. Maybe not like a UAC with a KPV, maybe like a Plumya. It's very good optics. It is 5 HP. Also not the greatest speed, I just realized. Tend to have decent off-road speed, but less than 70. Do they have like a... Those are... What? Is that a Recon one? 25-point recon Jeep with a weapon. Very good optics. KPV. That's the thing I was thinking of. It's not a KPVT. Might just be a good old Fitty Cal. I don't know which nation though. I'm not good with the Jeeps. I think it can only be a Jeep, right? It can't be a helicopter. Can't be recon infantry because they have better stealth. Can't be a ferret. Like a rover Jeep. Are those? This is a CV, so these aren't series. Rover Pinky. It's an MMG. And this is no, it can't be a rover because the speed is wrong. I'll be honest. Yeah, okay. I wouldn't have I'm not good with Jeeps, man. Like if you ask me what is a K111, I probably would have guessed it's a Jeep. There's a good chance I would have gotten it right, but not the other way around. We got ourselves a tank with an MG3. MG3, but not in this coalition, so it could be Norwegian. 1A5 and O. I think they have 600 autonomy. Oh, there you go. 30 points, RPG-7V or M693F1. Oh, which weapon is that? Which weapon? Is that the French autocannon? I think that's the French autocannon. I would have one MMG. East Germany Eurocore MMG. Weapon 2. This could be the AIM X10 shoot. Oh, I probably should have just gotten an MX30. But I thought that the MX10P Milan has the Milan in slot 1, but whatever. East Germany, we're gonna go with Panzerjäger. AMX 30. Yeah, I should have gone with an AMX 30. 30 points in MMG in slot 3. 30 points. Could it be the AMX 30 base? Eurocore, 30 points. Leopard 1A2. East Germany, 30 points. The supply truck. Open type 1 MMG. 152K. Books. Okay, none of the MX30s are 30. Well, they are 30 points, but oh, it doesn't have the autocannon. Okay, this is actually very difficult. The Milan has it in slot 1, not slot 2, but I was at least right with identifying the autocannon. Command, bad autonomy. Okay, this I can live with. Year. Okay. Here we go with the Phantom. Oh, I chose the wrong Phantom. That's the ASF variant. Command Sniper Bomb, I don't think that's gonna work. Let's go with the command or this one, AK-47 or 74 or whichever. 65 to 74. Are base modus Strelki that old? Dude, they're 75, aren't they? I should have gone with a really old napalm plane, but I'm pretty sure there are infantry squads that are actually older than 75 in a wargame. Weapon 2 main as a BMP1. Okay. 150 points. That's a T72, the East German T72 CV. The M's are 160. Did I try this already? I did. It's a Phantom where I messed up. Weapon 2, main gun. Okay, just go. Oh, that's all kind of not main gun, you idiot. Can I not get anything? Right. 150 points is just like an eagle. Oh, that is 160. What am I doing? 150 points and really old. Oh, that's actually difficult. T72 CV might have worked again, but I don't think all the other ones are T72 Ms. 103 CV, I think, is 130 points. Ooh, this is difficult. This is actually really difficult. Planes. Are there any planes that are this old and this to B5? Shit. Oh, the 160. I'm just off. Oh, the Soviets also have the K1, right? Oh, the 103B is 150. I had a long day at work, okay? I had a long day at work. Screw this. I'll see you in the next one.